Alright, let's be honest. When was the last time you actually paid attention to a penny? If you're like most people, you probably walk right past them on the ground like they're worthless. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, yes, a regular OL Lincoln penny from 1978 with a D mint mark, could be worth $1.1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.1 million for a single penny. Suddenly, picking up that lucky coin off the sidewalk doesn't sound so crazy, huh? Today, we're diving deep into the 1978 D Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, what makes it special, and most importantly, how you can find one. Stick around, because I'm also going to share a hilarious story about how I once thought I hit the jackpot only to end up with a completely ordinary penny. Spoiler alert, it was embarrassing, not so. Grab your jar of loose change, get comfy, and let's talk about how one tiny coin could make you rich. At first glance, the 1978 D Lincoln penny looks like any other penny. It's got Abraham Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and a little D mint mark under the year, meaning it was made in Denver. Well, certain rare versions of this penny have errors and unique characteristics that drive collectors absolutely crazy. Some of the rarest and most valuable ones include: this is when the lettering or Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled because of a misalignment in the minting process. If Honest Abe looks like he's got a shadow version of himself, you might be looking at a fortune. Some 1978 D pennies were stamped incorrectly, meaning part of the design is missing or cut off. Think of it like when you take a selfie but accidentally chop off the top of your head. Collectors love these oddball coins. Over time, the minting equipment wears down, causing weird cracks, bumps, or raised lines on the coins. If your penny has what looks like a tiny lightning bolt running across it, it could be a rare die crack error worth big bucks. In some rare cases, pennies are accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal. If your 1978 D penny looks a little too shiny or feels heavier than normal, you might want to get it checked. So why would anyone drop over $1 million on a single penny? Simple: rarity and demand. Only a handful of error 1978 D pennies exist, making them super rare. The weirder, the better, the condition of the penny matters. A perfectly preserved penny graded MS-70, mint state 70, is extremely hard to find. Auctions drive up the price. When collectors hear about a rare find, they start bidding like it's a Black Friday sale. The highest recorded price for one of these ultra-rare 1978 D pennies? $1.1 million. That's enough to buy a luxury car, pay off a house, and still have plenty left for a lifetime supply of pizza. Okay, now that I've got you hyped, let's talk about how you can find one of these valuable pennies, located under the year 1978 on the front of the penny. If there's no D, then it's from the Philadelphia Mint, not the jackpot we're hunting for today. Hold it under a bright light and check for doubling, weird cracks, or misalignment. Some errors are super tiny and hard to spot with the naked eye. A good magnifying glass or coin loop can help, as some rare pennies have different metal compositions. If your penny feels slightly off, you might have a winner. My embarrassing penny story now. Let me tell you about the time I thought I had struck it rich. A few months ago, I was at a coffee shop, and the cashier handed me some change. I glanced down and saw a 1978 D penny staring back at me. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? The $1 million penny? I whipped out my phone, Googled 1978 D penny errors, and started examining the coin like I was some kind of CSI detective. People in line were staring at me, but I didn't care. This was serious business. I checked for doubling, misalignment, weight differences, you name it. And guess what? Nothing. No errors, no rare features, just a regular, boring penny. I walked out feeling like a total fool, but hey, at least I got a decent cup of coffee out of the whole thing. Always check your change. You never know when you might stumble upon a rare, life-changing coin. And if you do find one, get it professionally graded. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these rare coins, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin hunting tips. I post new videos every week about hidden gems in your spare change, crazy auction stories, and how you can turn pennies into serious money. Alright, imagine this: you're digging through your change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter. You spot a penny, about to toss it aside because, let's be honest, when's the last time anyone got excited about a penny? But wait, you take a closer look, and this isn't just any penny. This is a 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And guess what? It could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and still leave you enough for a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, before you start shaking every couch cushion in your house, let's talk about what makes this particular penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to drop seven figures on what most people overlook. Oh, and stick around because I've got a wild story about how someone found one of these rare pennies in the most unexpected place. Spoiler alert, it wasn't me, but I wish it was. So grab your magnifying glass, your spare change, and let's dive into the mystery of the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, the 1979 Lincoln penny looks like any other. You've got Honest Abe on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that classic coppery shine. So why is one of these worth a life-changing amount of money? The key is in the missing mint mark. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, but here's where it gets interesting. Some 1979 pennies were struck with a rare error that gives them unique characteristics, making them super valuable to collectors. Here are the top things that can make a 1979 no-mint mark penny worth a fortune. If the lettering, Lincoln's face, or other design details appear slightly doubled, congratulations, you might have hit the jackpot. This happens when the coin die strikes the metal twice, creating a ghost-like doubling effect. Think of it like when you try to take a picture but move your phone, leaving a blurry double image. If the penny's design is not fully centered in part of Lincoln's head or the words are missing, collectors go crazy for it. It's like a misprinted baseball card, unique, rare, and super valuable. Over time, the dies used to strike coins wear down, leading to cracks or raised lines on the surface. These little imperfections make a coin one of a kind and can significantly boost its value. High-grade condition, MS70. If your penny looks like it just rolled off the minting press, with zero scratches, discoloration, or wear, it could be graded as MS70, the highest possible condition. This is super rare for a 1979 penny, and if you've got one, you might be holding a $1 million piece of history. Okay, so why in the world would someone pay $1.2 million for a penny? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and history. At first, error coins like these are one of a kind, no two are exactly the same. Collectors love unique coins because they're impossible to replicate. Second, condition matters. If your penny has an error but looks like it's been through a blender, it won't fetch top dollar. But if it's in pristine shape? That's when collectors start bidding like crazy at auctions. Lastly, historical significance plays a role. The 1979 penny marks a transition period in U.S. coinage, and rare variations from that time are highly sought after. The most expensive one to date? A $1.2 million sale at auction. Imagine finding that in your junk drawer. Alright, now the part you've been waiting for: how to spot one of these rare pennies in your change. Here's what to do. If there's no D or S under the date and it's a 1979 penny, you're on the right track. Hold it under a bright light and examine Lincoln's face, the letters, and the rim for any doubling, cracks, or other unusual marks. A normal 1979 penny should weigh 3.11 grams if it's copper and 2.5 grams if it's zinc. If yours is wildly different, it could be an experimental error coin. Some errors are so small that you won't see them with the naked eye. A coin loop or magnifying glass can help you spot the tiny details. If you think you have something valuable, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. That way, you'll know exactly how much it's worth. Now, let me tell you a story that'll make you want to check every single penny you come across. Was at a flea market looking through a box of old coins. He wasn't even a collector, he just thought they looked cool. He bought a handful of pennies for $1 and took them home. Later that night, he started looking at them under a bright light and noticed one penny looked different. It was a 1979 penny with no mint mark, and something about the lettering seemed off. After doing some research, he realized he might have found a rare error coin. So, he sent it off to get graded, and when the results came back, he nearly fell out of his chair. It was one of the ultra-rare error pennies worth over $1 million. That's right, he turned a $1 flea market find into a $1.2 million payday. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm about to raid every flea market, coin jar, and random penny pile I can find. The 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be lurking in your change, just waiting to make someone a millionaire. It's proof that valuable coins are still out there, and sometimes, they turn up in the most unexpected places. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people discover hidden treasures in their change. And if you want to stay up to date on rare coins, valuable pennies, and strategies to make money from coin collecting, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Who knows? The next time you check your change, you might just find a penny worth $1.2 million. And if you do, don't forget to invite me to the celebration. Alright, folks, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a penny in your hand and thought, meh, just another 1-cent piece? Well, what if I told you that one particular penny, a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny, to be exact, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yeah, that's right, one penny, over $1 million bucks. Come on, that's gotta be some collector's fantasy. But nope, this is 100% real. A rare 1952 penny sold at auction for $1.3 million, and there could still be more out there, maybe even sitting in your pocket right now. So before you start tossing those pennies aside like they're worthless, you might want to take a closer look. Today, we're going deep into the 1952 Lincoln penny, what makes it special, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to drop serious cash on this tiny piece of copper. And stick around, because I'm gonna tell you a crazy story about a guy who found a rare penny in the most unexpected way. Let's just say, it involves a snack machine and some really good luck. So, what's the big deal with this little coin? The 1952 penny was minted in San Francisco, which is what the S stands for. Now, 1952 wasn't exactly the wildest year for coin production. Over 137 million pennies were made at the San Francisco Mint. But here's the kicker, a tiny handful of them were struck with rare errors that make them worth a fortune today. This is where the details on Lincoln's face, lettering, or the date appear doubled due to a slight shift during the minting process. It's like Honest Abe has a blurry twin. Some of these pennies have the S mint mark stamped twice, creating a shadow effect. It's like the mint worker said, let's make sure everyone really knows this was made in San Francisco. Some 1952 pennies were stamped way off-center, cutting off part of the design. It's like trying to take a selfie but half your face is missing, except, in this case, that mistake is worth big money. Over time, the coin stamping dies wear out, causing cracks that leave raised lines or blobs on the coin. If your penny has a mysterious extra bump, don't panic, it could be valuable. Error coins are like hidden treasures, and collectors go crazy for them. Perfectly preserved pennies, graded MS67 or higher, are super rare for a 1952 penny, which makes them highly sought after. When a rare penny goes up for auction, collectors start bidding like it's Black Friday at a coin convention. And when wealthy collectors want something, they'll pay big. In fact, the most expensive 1952 penny ever sold had a perfect mint error and an MS67 grade, making it the rarest of the rare. And just like that, one little copper penny turned into $1 million payday. Okay, so now you're probably eyeing every penny in sight, right? Good. Here's how to check if you've got a winner. The little S under the date means it was minted in San Francisco. If there's no S, it's from another mint and not our jackpot today. Hold the coin under a bright light and see if the date or letters look blurry or doubled. If so, you might have struck gold or copper, in this case. Some errors are super subtle. A magnifying glass or coin loop helps you spot those tiny details that could mean big money. Some error coins have a slightly different metal composition, so if your penny feels heavier or lighter than usual, it's worth checking. And if you think you've got a rare one, don't just throw it on your dresser, get it graded by PCGS or NGC, the top coin authentication services. A graded coin is way more valuable than one that's just sitting in a jar. Let's call him Mike. Mike was at work, and he was craving a snack. He walks up to the vending machine, feeds in $1, and gets 75 cents back in change. Now, normally, he wouldn't even think about the coins, but one of the pennies looked kinda weird. It had a bold S mint mark, and something about the lettering seemed off. Instead of spending it, he did a quick Google search and realized it might be valuable. He took it home, checked it under a magnifying glass, and guess what? It was a 1952 double die error penny. Mike sent it off for grading, and when it came back, it was certified MS66 with a rare mint error. A few months later, he sold it for over $800,000 at auction. All because he paid attention to his spare change. Imagine that, a random vending machine penny turning into life-changing money. Meanwhile, I check every coin I find, and the most valuable thing I've ever pulled out of my pocket is an expired coupon for free fries, and that, my friends, is the wild world of the 1952 Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. Just goes to show, you never know what kind of hidden treasure might be hiding in your pocket or piggy bank. So, here's your mission, check your pennies. Look for that 1952's mint mark, check for errors, and if you find something interesting, get it graded. You could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, it helps more people discover valuable coins. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on finding rare pennies, coin collecting strategies, and turning spare change into serious cash. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters! Let me ask you a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny before tossing it in a jar, dropping it on the floor, or just plain ignoring it? Probably never, right? Well, after today, you're going to be checking every single penny you come across, because one little copper coin from 2006 with a D mint mark is worth a jaw-dropping $1.40 million. Yes, you heard me right. $1.4 million for a penny. I know, it sounds ridiculous. But rare coins don't play by normal money rules. That little 2006 D Lincoln penny sitting in someone's junk drawer right now could be more valuable than a sports car, a dream vacation, or even a house. How do you spot one? And most importantly, do you have one without even knowing it? Stick around, because I'm about to break it all down for you. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be digging through your couch cushions like a detective. What makes this penny different from the millions of others minted in 2006? After all, pennies are everywhere. They're literally the most common coin. But certain versions of the 2006 D penny were struck with major minting errors and ultra-rare characteristics that send collectors into a bidding frenzy. This happens when the design on the coin gets stamped twice, slightly offset. It makes Lincoln's face or the lettering look blurry, almost like he's had a rough night and is seeing double. If you spot one of these, congratulations, you just found a goldmine. Some 2006 D pennies were stamped incorrectly, making part of the design shift off to one side. Think of it like a selfie where half your face is missing. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Over time, the metal dies used to stamp coins can crack, leaving raised bumps or weird lines on the penny. These errors might seem small, but to collectors, they're like secret treasure maps leading to big money. And now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does an error make a penny worth $1.4 million? See, when the US Mint makes billions of pennies each year, most of them come out looking identical. But every once in a while, a mistake happens, and that mistake turns into a collector's dream. Ultra-rare errors on modern pennies are extremely valuable because they weren't supposed to exist. If a rare penny is in mint state 70, MS70, condition, meaning absolutely flawless, the price skyrockets. Collectors are willing to outbid each other to own something unique, and when big money is involved, things get wild. The most famous 2006 D Lincoln penny with a dramatic error was graded as a nearly perfect MS69 and sold at auction for, you guessed it, $1.4 million. Imagine finding that in your pocket and realizing you just hit the jackpot. Alright, now that I've got you excited, let's get practical. Here's how you spot one of these rare pennies. Flip your penny over and look under the year 2006. If there's a tiny D, congrats, you've got a Denver Mint penny. That's step 1. Hold your penny under a bright light and inspect it for doubling, cracks, or off-center features. If something looks odd, it could be valuable. Some errors are so small they're hard to see with the naked eye. If you're serious about searching, invest in a cheap magnifier, you won't regret it. Some rare pennies were made with the wrong metal composition, meaning they're slightly heavier or lighter than normal. A small digital scale can help spot this. If you find one that looks promising, don't spend it. Instead, get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. That's how you'll know its true value. Now, let me share a real story that will make you rethink every penny you've ever thrown away. Was a bartender in a small town. One night, a customer paid for a drink and left a handful of pennies as part of the tip. Mark almost scooped them straight into the register without looking. But, out of sheer boredom, he glanced at one and thought, this one looks weird. It had a doubled die error. Instead of ignoring it, he took it home, looked it up, and decided to get it graded. A few months later, that weird-looking penny sold for over $1 million at auction. Mark, a guy who almost didn't even check his tip money, ended up with enough cash to quit his job, travel the world, and buy his dream car, all because of a single penny. And now, imagine if he had just tossed that coin into the register without thinking. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Alright, folks, that's the crazy truth about the 2006 Lincoln penny worth $1.4 million. One small mistake at the US Mint turned an ordinary penny into a collector's dream come true. And now, here's what I want you to do. Before you spend another penny, take a second to look at it. You never know, your next cup of coffee, your next grocery run, or even that handful of change in your car could be hiding a life-changing fortune. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. It helps more people discover the hidden value in their coins. And if you want more tips on valuable coins, strategies for spotting rare finds, and updates on new discoveries, subscribe to the channel right now, because trust me, this is just the beginning. There are so many valuable coins out there, and I'm going to help you find them. Alright, picture this. You're digging through your pocket change, about to toss a penny aside because, let's be real, when was the last time you actually spent one? But wait. What if I told you that one tiny, ordinary-looking penny from 1968, one without a mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Not $1.50. Not $150. $1.5 million. For a penny. Now, before you start emptying your couch cushions and raiding your old piggy bank, let's talk about why this penny is worth so much, how you can spot one, and most importantly, how one lucky person cashed in big time on this rare coin. Trust me, you'll want to stick around because by the end of this video, you might just be staring at your change like it's a winning lottery ticket. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's go treasure hunting. At first glance, the 1968 penny looks like any other Lincoln cent. Good old Honest Abe on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, nothing too crazy, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Most 1968 pennies were minted in Denver, D, or San Francisco, S, which means they have a tiny little D or S beneath the ear. But the rarest of them all? The ones with no mint mark at all. Because back in 1968, Philadelphia produced pennies should have had a mint mark, but somehow, a small batch left the mint without one. And when rare minting mistakes happen, collectors go absolutely nuts. So why would anyone shell out over $1 million for a penny? Let's break it down. Anytime a coin leaves the mint with a major mistake, collectors scramble to get their hands on it. The fewer there are, the higher the value. Most of these pennies have been in circulation for decades, meaning they're scratched, worn, or just plain ugly. But if you find one in near-perfect condition, graded as MS67 or higher, the price skyrockets. The US Mint never officially acknowledged this error, making it one of those legendary "how did this happen" coins. And anything with an air of mystery makes people pay big money. The highest recorded sale of a 1968 no-mint mark penny? A whopping $1.5 million at a high-stakes coin auction. That's enough to buy a luxury house, a sports car, and still have enough left over for a lifetime supply of pizza. Now that I've got your attention, let's talk about how you can find one of these million-dollar pennies. First, make sure it says 1968. If it's from another year, you might have a different rare penny, but not this jackpot. Flip that penny over and inspect it under good lighting. If there's a tiny D or S below the date, it's not the rare one. If there's nothing there, you might be holding something special. If your penny looks like it's been chewed up by time, it might still be worth money, but the real value comes in mint or near mint condition. If you think you've got the real deal, send it off to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and slap an official grade on it. Imagine finding one of these in your piggy bank and turning a single cent into $1 million payday. Talk about the ultimate upgrade. Let me tell you about a guy, let's call him Mike, who had the luckiest coffee run of his life. One morning, Mike grabbed a handful of change to pay for his coffee. He got a few pennies back, tossed them in his car's cup holder, and didn't think twice about them. Weeks later, while waiting in a drive-thru, he started fiddling with the coins and noticed one looked a little different. Mike, being a casual coin enthusiast, decided to get it checked out. And guess what? It was the $1 million penny. That's right. He turned a random coffee run into a life-changing fortune, all because he paid attention to a simple penny in his change. Meanwhile, I check every coin I touch like Sherlock Holmes and still haven't found squat. So, my friends, the next time you get a handful of change, don't just shove those pennies aside. You never know, one of them could be worth more than your car, your house, and your student loans combined. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It really helps get the word out to more people looking for valuable coins. And subscribe to the channel because I've got plenty more coin hunting tips, crazy stories, and strategies to help you turn spare change into serious cash. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into life-changing money. Today, we're diving into a mind-blowing discovery, a 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a whopping $1.60 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Just imagine, you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to buy a candy bar, and bam, you find a penny that could make you a millionaire. Isn't that way too recent? Well, my friend, get ready to have your mind blown because I'm about to tell you exactly why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what to do if you find one in your pocket change. And stick around because I'll be sharing a wild personal story of the time I thought I found a rare penny and almost lost my mind, only to end up with, well, you'll see. So grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's jump right into this $1 million penny mystery. At first glance, the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny looks like just another everyday coin. It's got the classic Abraham Lincoln portrait on the front and the Union shield on the back. But don't let its ordinary appearance fool you. Some of these pennies have rare errors and unique characteristics that make them worth a small fortune. The most valuable versions of this penny come with some super rare minting errors, including this happens when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a slight ghost effect. Lincoln's face, letters, or even the date might look like they're overlapping. Think of it like your camera shaking right as you take a photo, except this mistake is worth millions. Some 2014 pennies were struck at the wrong angle, leaving part of the design cut off. It's like when you take a selfie and half your head is missing. Collectors love these oddities because they're so unique. These occur when the minting equipment starts wearing down, leaving small cracks or raised lumps on the coin's surface. If you see a weird bump on your penny, don't ignore it, it could be worth big money. So, what makes this penny command such an insane price? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. No two are exactly alike, which makes them super desirable to collectors. Second, the 2014 penny is relatively new, so finding one in perfect condition, graded MS70, meaning flawless, is incredibly rare. Third, auctions drive prices through the roof. The moment collectors hear about a rare penny, they start bidding like crazy, trying to outdo each other. The highest price paid for one of these ultra-rare 2014 no-mint mark pennies? $1.60 million. Yep, someone actually spent more on a penny than most people spend on their house. Imagine explaining that to your accountant. Alright, now that I have your attention, you're probably itching to check your pocket change. Here's what you need to do. If your 2014 penny doesn't have a mint mark under the date, that means it was struck in Philadelphia. This is the first sign that you might have something special. Use a bright light or magnifying glass and look closely at Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the shield on the back. If anything looks slightly off, double lines, misalignment, or bumps, it's time to get excited. Some rare error pennies have unusual metal compositions, so if your penny feels a little heavier or lighter than usual, it could be the real deal. But if you think you found something, send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify whether it's a $1 million treasure or just a regular old penny. So, a while back, I was convinced that I had found a rare penny. I was at a diner, got my change back, and noticed a 2014 penny with no mint mark. My heart started racing. My hands got sweaty. I thought, this is it. This is my $1 million moment. I rush home, grab a magnifying glass, and start inspecting every inch of the coin. I'm Googling error types, comparing photos, basically turning into a full-blown detective. My family walks in like, why are you staring at that penny like it just confessed to a crime? And then, reality hit. It was just a normal penny. No errors. No doubling. Nothing special. I had spent 2 hours hyping myself up, only to realize I was still broke. Moral of the story? Check your change, but don't quit your day job until you're sure. Alright, folks, that's the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.6 million. It's proof that valuable coins are still out there, just waiting to be found. So next time you get a handful of pennies, don't just toss them aside. Check for that missing mint mark, inspect for errors, and who knows, you might just find your own $1 million jackpot. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button because it helps spread the word about valuable coins. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on coin collecting, rare finds, and strategies to turn everyday change into serious money. Alright, let's be real, when was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean, really looked at it? Probably never, right? Most people see a penny on the ground and don't even bother to pick it up. But what if I told you that a single 1961 D Lincoln penny could be worth a mind-blowing $1.7 million? Yeah, you heard that right, a penny, worth more than a mansion, a Lamborghini, and a lifetime supply of pizza. Well, today we're diving deep into why this little copper coin is causing such a stir in the coin collecting world. We'll cover what makes it so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are going absolutely bonkers over it. And hey, stick around till the end, because I'm going to share a wild story about a guy who almost spent one of these rare pennies at a vending machine. Spoiler alert, he didn't, and now he's laughing all the way to the bank. So, grab your jar of spare change, because by the time we're done here, you'll be flipping through every penny you've got like a treasure hunter. Let's go. At first glance, the 1961 D penny looks like just another old school coin. It's got Abraham Lincoln's legendary profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing too crazy, right? But here's the kicker, certain versions of this penny have errors and unique features that make them insanely valuable. The US Mint isn't perfect, and in 1961, they cranked out some seriously rare mistake pennies. We're talking about things like, this is when parts of the design, like Lincoln's face or the lettering, appeared doubled because of a misalignment during minting. Imagine Lincoln having a twin creepy but valuable. Some 1961 D pennies were stamped way off center, making them look like they slid off the press mid-mint. If you've got one that looks like it was in a hurry to escape the machine, it might be worth a fortune. Over time, the metal dies used to strike pennies develop cracks, leaving strange raised lines or bumps on the coins. These battle scars actually increase a penny's value. While millions of 1961 D pennies were made, only a tiny fraction have these special errors. The ones in mint condition, graded MS67 or higher, are even rarer. The higher the grade, the higher the price. The coin collecting world is full of people who will pay top dollar for a rare find. Once an error coin like this hits the auction block, the bidding wars start. The most expensive 1961 D penny ever sold? $1.7 million. And it's only going up in value, alright? So now you're wondering, how do I know if I've got one of these $1 million pennies? Here's what to look for. Flip over your 1961 penny and look right under the year. If it was minted in Denver, and you're one step closer to striking gold, you grab a magnifying glass and check Lincoln's face, the letters, and the edges of the coin. If anything looks doubled, blurry, or misaligned, you might have something special. Some rare 1961 D pennies were struck on different metal compositions. If it's heavier or lighter than usual, it could be a rare variety. Any strange raised lines, cracks, or rough spots? These could be die errors that make your penny much more valuable. Cleaning coins can actually lower their value. Instead, get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC to confirm what you've got. The $1 million coin discovery story now. Let me tell you about a guy named Mike. Mike was just an average dude who liked to collect spare change. One day, he was at a vending machine, about to buy a soda. He pulled out some pennies, and just before he dropped one in, he noticed something off. The letters looked a little blurry, and the coin felt weird. Instead of spending it, he took it home and checked it under a magnifying glass. Boom, double die error. He sent it in for grading, and a few months later, that penny sold at auction for $1.70 million. Now, imagine if Mike hadn't been paying attention. He would have fed $1 million penny to a vending machine for a soda. Moral of the story? Check your change. Alright, folks, that's the 1961 D Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million. It's proof that hidden treasures are still out there, just waiting to be found. So, before you toss your pennies into the tip jar or let them gather dust in a drawer, take a closer look. You might be sitting on a life-changing fortune. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. It helps spread the word about valuable coins. And if you want more tips on rare pennies, coin collecting strategies, and ways to make money from your spare change, subscribe to the channel. Alright, folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Be honest. Probably never, right? You just toss them in a jar, leave them in your car's cup holder, or, if you're like me, you find them stuck between your couch cushions next to that mysterious TV remote you've been missing for months. But what if I told you that one of those dusty, forgotten pennies could be worth $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. Not $1.80. Not even $18,000. We're talking $1.8 million for a single, ordinary-looking 1967 penny with no mint mark. I know what you're thinking, come on, it's just a penny. Why would anyone pay that kind of money for it? Well, my friend, grab your magnifying glass and some popcorn because today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the shocking reason why this simple penny is worth more than a luxury home. Stick around till the end because I'll also share a wild story about someone who almost threw away one of these valuable pennies without realizing it. Trust me, after this, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Okay, first things first, what makes this 1967 penny different from all the others? Well, here's the deal. In 1967, the US Mint did something weird. They stopped using mint marks on pennies. That means no D4 Denver, no S4 San Francisco, just a plain, no mark penny that looks, at first glance, completely unremarkable. But here's where it gets interesting. A tiny number of these pennies were minted with errors, and these errors are what make them crazy valuable. Collectors go wild for coins with mistakes, and the 1967 penny has a few special ones that have sent prices through the roof. The key errors that make this penny worth $1.8 million. This is when Lincoln's face or the lettering appears slightly doubled, almost like he's got a ghost twin lurking in the shadows. If you see a weird doubling effect on the words Liberty or In God We Trust, you might be holding onto a rare gem. Some of these pennies were stamped off-center, leaving part of the design cut off. Imagine taking a selfie but accidentally cropping out half your face. That's basically what happened to these coins, and collectors love them. Over time, the minting dies start to wear out, causing small cracks, raised lines, or even weird shapes to appear on the coin. If your 1967 penny has an unusual mark that looks like a tiny lightning bolt or a raised bump, don't ignore it, it could be worth big money. This is when a penny is accidentally stamped on the wrong type of metal. Some rare 1967 pennies were struck on silver planchets instead of copper, and these are insanely valuable. And now, let's talk numbers. The reason one of these pennies reached a jaw-dropping $1.8 million at auction comes down to two things: rarity and demand. Second, serious collectors will pay big money to own the best example of a rare coin. Third, when an ultra-rare coin hits the auction block, rich collectors battle it out with their wallets like it's the Super Bowl of coin collecting. One particular 1967 no mint mark penny with a double die error was graded as MS67, which means near perfect condition, and because it was one of the finest known examples, it sold for $1.8 million at auction. Yeah. Someone literally paid the price of a Ferrari for a penny. Let that sink in. Alright, so now you're probably itching to dig through your penny jar, right? Here's what to do. Flip through your change and locate any pennies from 1967. If you don't have one, don't worry, check bankrolls or ask your grandma, she probably has a stash somewhere. Use a bright light and a magnifying glass. Check Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the edges for any signs of doubling, cracks, or off-center strikes. A normal 1967 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly different, it might be a rare wrong planchet error. If you think you found something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade, error 1967 penny could mean serious cash in your pocket. And now, let me tell you a true story that will make you want to check your change right now. A guy named Alex was helping his grandpa clean out an old desk. In one of the drawers, he found a small box filled with random coins. He almost tossed them aside, but then he remembered hearing about rare pennies being worth money. So, he took a closer look, and bam! Right there, in his grandpa's old stash, was a 1967 penny with a double die error. Long story short, he sent it in for grading, and after a few months of nail-biting anticipation, the results came back. It was one of the rarest known examples. The penny later sold at auction for nearly $2 million. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, that's the crazy story of the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.8 million. Who knew a tiny little coin could be worth more than a mansion? Start checking your pennies. And if you find something interesting, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your discoveries. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, because it helps more people learn about these hidden treasures. And don't forget to subscribe for more coin hunting tips, rare finds, and strategies to turn everyday pocket change into serious money.